Hello there everyone and welcome to this video. Today I am here to talk to you about the 5 things that are blocking your connection to your spiritual gifts and what you can do about it so that you can come in deeper alignment with yourself and you can really feel activated in your life. You can really feel that you have access to all that you're about and all your potential that connects you to your spiritual gifts. So when I talk about spiritual gifts, I talk anything from, your ability to connect with your intuition to, being able to guide yourself and others in important things in life, to really your ability to offer counsel to yourself and other people, as well as kind of really having that internal compass kind of really alive and kicking in your energy system. So it could be really anything, you being able to use your energy and work with energy so that you assist yourself and other people. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Samaya and I am a shamanic coach and a vibrational alignment coach. I work with energy and I work with people who really want to sort of up level their lives, really work through the limiting beliefs and any kind of really like to get stuck into those like twisted energies in the body that are kind of really holding us down, right? So energy is the language I talk and the language I feel comfortable with, and something that's kind of I feel really comfortable with to talk about. So often when I do these videos, I am referring and speaking to you from that energetic perspective. So this is what I get to share with you. So if you really like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be delivering content here as often as I can, as well as interviews and really kind of with other people who I feel they've got something really valuable to offer. So thank you for being here. So let's get stuck into what are those things that are blocking us from connecting with our spiritual gifts. The number thing that I notice is on this particular subject is to do with our energy being stuck and not moving freely in our bodies. Okay, so our energy body being stuck, just as we have sometimes we have our mental lockdowns, like something is really feeling stuck on a mental level or on an emotional level. The same can happen on our energy. And often if our energy is feeling stuck and if it's not moving freely, that means that we are not able to access ourselves and our potential in a way that really kind of allow us to expand and really kind of connect with ourselves and the universal flow of energy in a good way. So it's very difficult then to connect with our inner wisdom, with our spiritual gifts, with our or energetic capacity in a fuller way. And that will really mean that, we are blocked from connecting deeper. So when your energy is feeling blocked, it's the kind of thing you need to be able to notice. And you'll know because you're not able to, move through very standard things in your life. It might be very difficult for you to make decisions around things because you find yourself something stopping you. Your energy will kind of sometimes feel like, like there's a sense of like something is being pent up, because if it's not moving, it's getting stuck somewhere and it's accumulating more and more and more. And you need to be able to address that. You need to be able to recognize when your energy feels stuck. You need to be able to identify when that's taking place. And you need to know where in your body you're feeling it more stuck. We have our 7 chakras. We've got a lot more than 7 chakras, but say like when we look at the 7 chakras, those are some of the areas where we'll feel the energy being stuck. And they all correspond to different things, right? So say, for instance, when it comes to creativity, it's to do with sacral chakra, right? When it's like your emotions feel stuck, that's often to do with the heart, or your communication is a throat chakra, right? So when we feel blocks, we'll know because they manifest in our lives as blocks. We know because we can't move through with specific things. We can't take decisions about some things, either if it's small things or bigger things. We found ourselves really hesitant to connect with other people. We found ourselves hesitant to connect with opportunities. We feel ourselves like we're not able to move in the way that we want to. So that's one way where our energy will feel stuck. And sometimes you feel it in a way where you just kind of like, even not able to breathe as well as you would like to, or you're not able to do some things with the ease that you would like to, right? So it might manifest in this sort of area of like fear, like you really finding yourself to be fearing moving forward with certain things. That is stuck energy often, and it really requires our attention. So I would really like you to take a minute to notice when your energy feels stuck and where in your body is feeling stuck. And then I want you to breathe into that space, and I want you to really go and access and inhabit the space in your body that it feels stuck. And as you do that, the breath will also kind of help rewire your nervous system, and it will help you come down, and it will help you connect and access those parts of yourself that feel that have not been inhabited and they need your attention. So I want you to do that, and I want you to allow that to happen. Other times you might need to just move, you might need to just walk, you might need to just shake it up a bit, you might need to just dance it off and just integrate that sort of energy in your body and let it kind of flow and let it kind of like spend it really. And that could be a good way of moving it forward. Other times it could be like you might just choose doing an activity that requires motion. You'll know when you know your energy is feeling stuck. You'll get a sense by asking yourself, like, what do I need the most? What do I need the most now? Do I need to move? Do I need to dance? Do I need to breathe into that space? You'll see what is being required from you. So I want you to take that action, and I want you to notice when that is happening. That's really, really important. Let's go to number two. Number two is sort of number two block that is stopping you from connecting with your spiritual gifts. Could be sort of any limiting beliefs that you hold about your own abilities or about your place in the world, about what you're capable, what's possible to be had in life, right? So a lot of people think that your spiritual gifts are a gift that the few only possess. They feel that it's not something that everyone has. It's not something that everybody shares. It's something that only very few special people get to have. Some other people hold the limiting belief that special gifts or spiritual gifts are inherited, right? And they come only from a lineage of people or from a lineage of tradition. Other people feel like that, you know, they just don't have that in them, that they just don't have that because maybe they grew up in a family that maybe mom and dad really never talked about those things. They came from a very rational background, or they really felt like, you know, they didn't hold a very nurturing maybe environment, and they didn't have that support, so they didn't offer that support to you to kind of really allow you to believe that a lot is possible, right? So limiting beliefs can come from so many different things. It can come from ancestry, it can come from past lives, it can come from you know, a soul blueprint, you know. So on a very deep soul level, on a core level, we can kind of hold certain beliefs because that was part of our makeup, and that was part of the makeup that we needed to, in a way, transform and kind of like move through, part of the soul lessons we were here to learn. It could be so many different reasons, but if you hold those limiting beliefs, what would really, really help to uncover them is journaling. Journaling is a really powerful way to connect with your deeper thoughts, and you will see when you feel frustrated or when you start to think about, okay, you know, why certain things are not possible for you. I want you to sit down and write and let the writing come out and see what kind of stuff comes out. Where are your frustrations? You know, perhaps reflect on the kind of things that you've learned from family as you were growing up around, you know, intuition, what they were teaching you by example or by things they had shared. You know, what's kind of like stuff that you've heard from other people, what has been reflected to you from society. Go and do a little good brainstorm on your journal and see what comes up. And those kind of things that you'll see, a lot of those will be limiting beliefs. So I want you to identify them, and I want you to really realize how much they have not helped your your ability to connect with yourself on a deeper level, with your true gifts, with your true abilities, because they kind of had taken over. So I really want you to take a moment, identify what those are for you, write them down, and really kind of get a sense of, like, you know, where you know, where they're holding you back, you personally. Yes, so you want to kind of choose a topic. It could be like you brainstorming on, like, say in this case we're talking about intuition, right, and spiritual gifts. So I want you to sit down and brainstorm everything you had been taught or told or even shown by example or through society or through church or through whatever cultural background you have. I want you to kind of come and brainstorm what those ideas were, what those beliefs, and then to kind of have a minute and think like, do I resonate with those? Because they came from elsewhere. They were not my thoughts. And see how much of those you carry them on you. You can do that for any aspect of your life. You can do that about relationships, about intimacy, about connection, about marriage. You can do that about money. You can do that about success and progressing in yourself, about your development. So you can do all sorts of things in terms of like any subject. So I want you to think about journaling as a really beautiful tool to really uncover what those limiting beliefs are, because those limiting beliefs, once identified, once shifted, and once transformed, will be opening up a lot more of the door to connecting with your spiritual gifts. This is going to be very, very, very important. Let's go to point number 3. The third point of that acts as a block to your spiritual gifts is any disconnection you feel with your authentic true self. When we're disconnected to who we truly are, and we're just connected to the persona that has been identified and that we have connected through how we grew up, through our family, through our culture, through our ancestry, through our particular kind of like places we grew up in, through the sort of religious beliefs that we became part of, what can be difficult if we haven't dug deeper to really connect with who we truly are on a deeper level and on a spiritual level. It's going to be very hard for us to really feel in connection and alignment to our spiritual gifts, which tend to go so much deeper beyond the surface and beyond the persona that we have put in the world. So it's going to be really important, therefore, to really understand what has been holding us back from our true self. And often what I find that with connection to true self, to our authentic true self, is to do with kind of like really needing to do more shadow work, because the shadow tends to hold those hidden aspects of ourselves. And sometimes we kind of end up projecting a lot of negative traits to those hidden aspects. We hold a lot of shame around our desires. We hold a lot of like guilt, or we hold some kind of fears around it. So where those fears are, where that shame is, where the guilt is, where all those kind of darker elements are, often is where we'll find a lot of our true self is kind of kept behind, right? So integrating integrating our shadow and understanding what those fears, what those shames are about, then really help us connect and be able to reveal both to ourselves and to the world who we truly are. So the more you do this, the more you come into that deeper integration with your true self, the easier it will be for you to connect with your spiritual gifts as well. Okay, that's the third point. The point number 4 is all about our capacity to trust ourselves, and often it reflects with not trusting ourselves, right? So a block to connecting with our spiritual gifts is a lack of trust of self. And again, that often is to do with like the previous 3 points that I've talked about: our limiting beliefs, energy not moving freely in the body, so we're feeling stuck and we're not really transforming what's already there, not really allowing that raw material to really kind of transform and alchemize into what needs to alchemize, as well as our connection to our true self, and us kind of not really doing a shadow work and really continuing to keep that sort of aspects of ourselves so hidden from our own selves. So it's very difficult to really integrate that into a sort of like who we really are in a deeper way. And so we find it difficult to trust ourselves. Perhaps, we've been brought up to hear certain things that have not been very positive towards who we are. And, from family or from whatever backgrounds, we felt that on some level that we were not good enough to do certain things. We feel like, we have difficulty really believing that we are, worthy of certain things. So when we're not trusting ourselves, and when we're not trusting our intuition, and when we haven't had good a sacred space for us to really work with our boundaries, to work with like developing trusting relationships and affirming circumstances that really affirmed us for who we are, it might be very difficult for us to trust ourselves and therefore trust our connection to our spiritual gifts. So that will hold us back quite a bit. So I really want you to understand and identify how much you are trusting of yourself and your capacity to assess situations, because our spiritual gifts really need a lot of our intuition and a lot of trusting of that intuition. So if you're not trusting your intuition, if you're not trusting yourself on a deeper level, either through difficult traumatic events or situations that have kind of really put a damper, or through lessons, hard lessons we've had to learn, it can sometimes put a damper into the way we go about connecting with our spiritual gifts. So we might feel like we're hesitating, right? And we kind of move away from the spiritual realm, of the intuitive realm, because we kind of rather stay with something safe and something that is kind of very logical and something very kind of external and very kind of mainstream, or very much more determined, right? And much more easy to assess. So yeah, our kind of lack of self-trust can really deeply impact the way we connect with our spiritual gifts and our capacity to connect with our spiritual gifts. Yeah. The fifth and final point I wanted to bring up here is also to do with us giving our power away to a ton of other things, like say other modalities, right? Or other people. We feel others do it better, or we feel okay, I'm intuitive, or I can do certain things, but really it is my Reiki modality, or whatever healing you do, or whatever other thing that you're using that actually does the job, and I'm just hiding behind it, right? So, and I want you to think that no matter what modalities, no matter what tools are available to us, really those tools are nothing without us. We are the ones who are navigating through life, right? We are the ones who are essentially, life doesn't have a roadmap. We think there's kind of roadmaps. There's certainly some kind of milestones, and there's certainly some kind of blocks or areas we can identify. We move from one place to the other, from A to B to Z to whatever. But actually, we are the ones who are navigating life. We are the ones who are really on the driving seat, and everything else is a bonus. Everything else is there as a little kind of tool to support, but it's not to take the leading the driving seat. It's only the modalities are always in service to us. We are not in service to a modality. So you cannot hide behind a modality. You cannot hide behind a discipline. You cannot hide behind a tool. And sometimes we do that because we don't trust ourselves, or because we feel that we might not be good enough, or we feel like, on some level we haven't really fully activated as human beings who are spiritual beings, to really utilize the wisdom that we have, to really kind of be able to kind of blend in with our intuition and let it take the sort of a driving seat. So so notice when you do that. Notice when you are using the excuse of a particular modality. Say if you're an energy healer, you feel, oh yeah, this is the best modality and it does all the work. I'm there to just serve. And don't underestimate how big and how important that capacity to be present as a human being and as a spiritual being with your intuition, to witness somebody else and to witness yourself and your own unfolding in life, and be able to utilize your wisdom to support other people. Don't underestimate how big that is. And really all that you're learning from all the lessons, small lessons, big lessons, easy lessons, hard lessons, the disappointments, all that stuff is raw material. All the failures you've had, all this stuff is raw material for you to become a better and better and more apt navigator through the landscape that gets revealed to us in our own lives, in our own journeys, and the journeys of other people. And our capacity to really hold space with all that stuff and utilize and activate our spiritual gifts, to activate our internal compass, and really kind of put to use the wisdom that we have, is immense. It's absolutely immense. So those 5 points, I wanted to really kind of get curious about the areas on each of those 5 points that you feel could be acting as blocks for you, and kind of have a think on how you can start and eliminate those. And I think journaling is a very powerful way of doing that. Energy work is a very powerful way of doing that. Really kind of holding sacred space for yourself, sacred boundaries is a really powerful way of doing that. But really kind of just knowing your worth and really knowing how to, when it's time to really kind of set some boundaries with people and in your own life to experience the expansion and the growth and the connection to your spiritual gifts that you want to. So I hope you have found this useful. I'd love to know, let me know in the comments below if you feel that any of those kind of hit a nerve with you, or that you identify as blocks in your experience and in your life at this point in time. And what methods, what ways do you feel that you could, how do you feel you could help yourself to overcome those? Because it doesn't matter if you work with your spiritual gifts or you just use them on your day-to-day for your own life and to just live a better life. It doesn't matter. What matters is that, you know, these are free gifts that we have available, and they are innate gifts that every single person possesses. So it'd be a real shame if we're not making the most of them, and if we're not letting them help us navigate through life, right? So I hope this is yet useful. Please subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more content like this, and I hope to speak to you very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.